Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and in this video we're going to be tackling the EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra RTX 3080. This card is at the very corner of the rig, getting the best airflow that I could possibly get, bringing in cool air from the side, right onto the back plate of the GPU. However, in this Florida 110 degree Fahrenheit heat, we unfortunately are still seeing some thermal throttling issues. So again, great card, does a great job. Actually will run very well stock in an open air frame, but in my Corsair Obsidian 500D, not so much, and then inside a grow tent in the heat of Florida, not so much. So we have my component here from CoolMyGPU. This is a copper plate used to cool the memory. You remember a previous video where I used copper shims. Didn't work out too well because with all the shims packed on the memory modules, we were making contact or putting pressure on some SMDs around that. That's why CoolMyGPU has specifically designed these plates to fit with specific models. Just make sure you double check which one is good for yours. I will not be doing the Gigabyte 3080, which is here in the middle, because it's already hitting the hash rate it needs to hit while keeping thermals, after I did the thermal pad replacement, well within check. It's just the EVGA card, even with the little baby heat sinks in the backside, it's just having issues. So this rig's already shut down. I just need to get it out. We're gonna do a tear down, put the copper plate on, and see what the difference is. Right now I can tell you that in the peak heat, we're hitting 110, 108 C on the memory modules. So let's see what the difference is after the fact. All right, so now here she is in all her glory. Obviously we're gonna need to remove the little baby heat sinks off the back here. I have a little container that I could just keep them in, and that's this guy right here. The only thing is obviously the thermal tape that holds these on are going to need to be replaced, but I have a whole roll of that, and I can easily just cut a piece to whatever size it is. These little heat sinks don't do much. They do help a little bit. I also have a CPU heat sink back there in the corner you can't see that I used in my main system, but we're just going to remove those so we can set the card flat. Because honestly, we don't need to remove the back plate on this GPU. We just need to be able to get to the front side here where the copper cold plate that's already on the EVGA card can be utilized in conjunction with the CoolMyGPU one. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So now we got to remember that on this GPU, we have some screws that go into the heatsink itself and some screws that go into these little nuts and don't need to be taken off. So identifying where those are and making sure you don't remove those can be a pain. But I talked about it in my teardown video. If you want to check that out, I'll have it linked down in the description. Something is bowing pretty bad. I don't know if you can see it, but the GPU is kind of bowing up on this side. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is. By the way, you don't see it on camera, but there's a electrostatic wrist strap on my ankle that's you know, obviously plugged into the GN mod mat, which is grounded properly. If you haven't watched a video on that, you should probably check it out so you can educate yourself. Now, we don't have to worry too much about NT or static electricity here in certain parts of Florida at certain times of year because of the humidity, but when you're in a much drier environment, that can definitely cause you to break something. Like I'm about to break this this little clip. I hate how EVGA did this, honestly. One, three. All right, now this one, gotta be extra careful. Let's see if we can figure out why they're not making good contact. I wonder if I get thicker thermal pads. So this is basically dry. If I clean that side off, do I have a thermal pad to replace it? I should. So I'm probably gonna do that. That's making contact. This is not making contact. That's dry as heck. So I think the way it got put back together with that giant piece kind of broken and it's on there, if I didn't put it back in its right slot, this was kind of pushing on the previous thermal pad that stayed on the heatsink and kind of adding that gap or space. So I've replaced this. It looks like 1.5 mil thick. If I add that back, we should be good. So the problem is some of these thermal pads are really good. This is all torn to shreds too. So I might replace that as well. So anywhere on the inductors, you might want to replace it. So let me get some measurements and everything. I'm going to save these thermal pads. These are Thermal Grizzly minus pads 8s. I'm going to save these, put them in a container using, matter of fact, I'll show you that right now. Very easy to do, especially if you use your guitar pick from your iFixit kit, or if you have a guitar pick in general because you play. Just kind of scrape it up ever so gently. Get a Ziploc bag to store it. And you can technically reuse these as you see fit. These aren't bad pads at all. Really good thermal pads actually. It's just, if you can see that, just kind of come at it at an angle. Also, I like to scrape off the thermal pads paste as well with this. Makes the job a little bit easier, right? And you wipe it on your paper towel, whatever you got. Make sure you get the edges. And then for the SMDs, like I've shown many of times, be careful with the SMDs around the GPU core itself, and just very carefully. And I can't really do this for you because like you're at a steeper angle than I am, but you just want to angle it in such a way that you're not ripping off the little SMDs around the core. Just be careful, take your time. I'm in a thermal pad. All right, just a quick update for you. We got Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut Extreme on the core once again, but for thermal pads, I'm actually using GPUrisers thermal pads. Really good thermal efficiency, watts per meter Kelvin, and a really great box stand for the camera to sit on. So now we just need to get everything kind of fit on here. If you look very carefully, if you see any shining around the memory modules, that's actually the nail polish that I use for, you know, whenever I use a liquid metal application. Now before I handle this copper plate from CoolMyGPU, isopropyl alcohol, just a little bit, rub it on your hands, because after touching all the thermal pads and thermal paste, you don't want that grease to imprint on the copper plate. Here it is. Looks like, obviously, because there's some indentation, if you look very carefully, there's some indentation. It only goes a particular way. So we want this one kind of facing down. and it sits on there. Once it's kind of sat on there, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but not a lot, and it just goes around each SMD ever so carefully. Really cool thing is the SMD that was up here was the one that gave me trouble when I used the copper shims, because the Z height, or the amount of space the shims took up, was a lot higher. So this sits on here quite well. Obviously we need to add some thermal paste. They give you MX4. I'm using some cryo knot non-extreme, just a regular cryo knot. Gonna put that around there and then put our plate on, and we'll bring you back for what the final looks like. But it's pretty much what you've seen with all our other favorites out there. That should make sufficient contact with the cold plate, but we shall find out. Could spread it out as well with the same spatula, but we're probably gonna let the cold plate do the spreading out for us. Just wanted to talk about this before we go into temperature testing. If you look very carefully, I did bend the back plate to force the thermal pads on the back side to push against the memory modules. That wasn't a cause of why there was no contact on these chokes. You could barely see it. But with the new thermal pad, 1 mil thick, that's making sufficient contact with the heatsink as well as the various components around those chokes. So we're looking pretty good. I like to often use a light to kind of look in between, make sure everything's making contact. And I verified with the sunlight outside that we're making good contact on not only the memory modules, but the new thermal pads on the chokes or inductors, as well as I can see, if you angle it ever so carefully, that there's good contact on the GPU core. So this one should be good to go. Gonna hook it back up, do some testing for a few days, and come back with the results. All right, so here we are, and as you can see, there are no heat sinks on the back side of this GPU. It's been running sustained for a long time, and it's actually pretty decently warm outside. So with the tent all closed up, I can safely say these are the numbers that we're going to see here. We are able to get the 100 megahash that we should be getting, and we dropped the thermal temperatures on the memory from 110 or 108 down to 74 or 72. So quite a huge improvement. Definitely can say that the CoolMyGPU copper plate does a pretty good job. Comparing that to the Gigabyte card, which just has thermal pads, really good thermal pads on it, which is still able to get the 100 mega hash, and the memory temperature's max is 92. And that's a long way off from what it used to be. If you're new to the channel, I've done many videos on how the 3080 was just running so damn hot and what I had to do to get it to run better. Now that Gigabyte card is in the middle of the rig, not next to direct airflow, but I'm pretty sure the CoolMyGPU plate, copper plate, would make this GPU run a whole lot better. So good thermal pads will get the job done, that is no doubt. But the CoolMyGPU copper plate can help you out quite drastically, as you can see here. And because it's customized, you have a little bit more surface area than you would with shims, and it has the best contact that you possibly could, unless you're going to cut the copper shims yourself. For now, we're going to close this tent back up, call it a day, let things ride out, and I'm just going to enjoy the evening. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description to help support the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.